Okay, this is the grade 7 homework for Monday, November 20th on divisibility rules. Question 5 says, which of the following numbers are divisible by 5? So your divisibility by 5 rules is simple. If a number is divisible by 5, if it ends in a 0 or a 5. So all of these numbers here, if it ends in a 0 or 5, we know it's divisible by 5. So I'm going to circle that. It's not this one. This one is, not this one. This one is, and this one is. And what I mean by that, if I take any of these numbers, for example, the first one we did was 1010, so 1010, and I divided it by 5, I would get 202. Now that means that 5 multiplied by 202 equals 1010. So therefore we say that 5 is a factor of 1010, and so is 202. It is also a factor of 1010. And all that means is it's able to be divided into the number in question without leaving a decimal answer. Okay? Those are factors. Question 6 says, which of the following numbers are divisible by 4? The rule for 4 is the last 2 digits of the number, not the entire number, but the last 2 digits can be halved twice, can be divided by 2 twice. So let's look at the first one. The last 2 digits are 24. If I divide that by 2, I get 12. Can I do it again? Yes, I can. I get 6. So therefore, because that number can be, the last 2 digits can be divided by 2 twice, that number is divisible by 4. And if I take the number 124 and I divide it by 4, I get 31. These last 2 digits, if I divide them, I get 15. But because I can't do it again, then 330 is not divisible by 4, or it does not have 4 as a factor. So 330 divided by 4 is a decimal number, so it's not, 4 is not a factor. 48 divided by 2 is 24. I can do it again and get 12. So therefore, 3048 does have 4 as a factor, and I can check with my calculator. 3048 divided by 4, that equals 762. So therefore, I could say that if I was looking for the factors of 3048, I could say that, let me just double check that again. 3048 divided by 4 is 762. So therefore, 4 times 762 is one way to get 3048. So 4 is a factor of 3048, and so is the number 762. They are both factors of that big number. All right, 78, half of that is 39. Because 9 is not, any number that ends in 9 is not divisible by 2, I know I can't divide it again, so that is not. 82 divided by that is 41. It ends in a 1, not a 2, so it's not divisible. 32 divided by 2 is 16. 16 can divide by 2 again to get 8. So therefore, 1432 does have 4 as a factor. 1432 divided by 4 is 358. Question 7, use a diagram or a table to sort the numbers that are divisible by 4. So we're going to use a Venn diagram here. And I'm going to take these numbers of 312. Is it divisible by 4? Well, yes it is, because I can divide that by 2 to get 6, and then divide it by 2 again to get 3. So 312 is divisible by 4. We'll call this one 8. And for 8, it has to be divisible by 2, the whole number, divisible by 2 3 times in a row. So 312, half that is 156. That's dividing it by 2 the first time. 75 and 6 is 78. And one last time would be 39. So therefore, it's divisible by both. And I'd put 312 right in the middle. I'll double check my answer just by taking 3112 and dividing it by 8. I should get 39. And 312 divided by 4, and I should get 78. So therefore, it's both. Someone just tweeted me something on my Facebook, I think. 330. Is it divisible by 4? Well, I can divide it by 2 the first time, but once I get to 15, I can't, so it's not divisible by 4. And 330, therefore, if I cut it in half the first time, it can only go once, so it's not divisible by either, so it goes outside here. And 148, check for divisibility by 2, 24, and 12. Yep, it's divisible by 4. Half of 148 is 74. That's half of it. Divide that by 2 again. I get 35 and 2, which is 37. I can't do it one more time. I can only do it 2 times. So it's not divisible by 8. So therefore, 148 is only divisible by 4 and goes in there. 64 is divisible by 4 because 32 and 16. Half of 164 is 82. Half of that is 41. I can't do it again. So 164 goes over here. For 264, I know it's divisible by 4 because I just did it with the last one. But half of 264 is 132, and half of that is 50, and 16 is 66, and half of that is 33. So I could divide 264 by 2 3 times in a row, so therefore it's divisible by 8, and it goes right in the middle. And the last one, this is a tricky one. 24, 12, and 6, it is divisible by 4. So I can put 4 up here. Now 8, oh my heavens, I'm going to use a calculator for this one. 13,824 divided by 2, divided by 2 again, divided by 2 one last time. It's 1728, which means it's divisible by 4 and 8, and it goes right in here. I'm going to put 13,824. If a number is divisible by 4 and 8, what is the smallest number other than 1 that is also divisible by that? We know that it must be 8, because 8 is the smallest factor that both 4 and 8 share. And question 8 says, using a diagram or table, sort the numbers based on divisibility by 4 and 6, or 6 and 10, sorry. So we'll make this one 6 and this one 10. Now remember, I know that a number is divisible by 10 if it ends in 0. So these 3 numbers here are divisible by 10, but these ones are not 10, not by 10. Okay, so now 6 is easy. 6 has to follow the rule of divisibility by 2, which means it ends in an even number, meaning 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. And it also has to divide by 3, which means the sum of the digits is a number that's divisible. So if it's both of those, then it's divisible by 6. That's the rule. So for 5832, 5832, I know it's not divisible by 10 because it ends in a 2. But 5 plus 8 plus 3 plus 2, well, 8 plus 2 is 10. That's 18. Is 18 a multiple of 3? It is. So 18 is divisible by 3. So therefore, this number is divisible by 3. It ends in a 2, which means it's also divisible by 2. And therefore, the whole thing is divisible by 6, which means 5,832 is divisible by 6, but not by 10. 35130, if I look at, it ends in an even number, so it is going to be divisible by 2. But 3 plus 5 is 8 plus 1 is 9. 9 is divisible by 3, so therefore it's divisible by both. It's 35101. It's divisible by both 10 and by 6. And I know it's by 6 because it ends in an even number, and the sum of the digits is 9. So therefore, it follows both rules of divisibility of 2 and 3, and it's divisible by 6. Now this one, I know that it's not going to be divisible by 6 because it automatically does not have that first divisibility by 2 because it ends in a 3. And therefore, 243 will not be divisible by 6 or by 10. Now this one looks promising because it ends in a 0, which means it's divisible by 2. But I got to check to see if it's divisible by 3 as well. 9 plus 1 is 10. 10 plus 8 is 18. 18 is divisible by 3. So it's divisible by 10 and it's divisible by 6, which means 9,810 is divisible by both. And the last one, it's divisible by 10. It's also divisible by 2, but I'm not sure about 3. So 3, 4, 4 and 18 is 22. 22 is not divisible by 3, so therefore it is only divisible by 10 and not by 6. Okay? Hopefully you understood all that, and if you have any questions, make sure you ask them tomorrow.